of those candidates who have consented to be here today that we should get started. And we should tell all of the people before we begin that we are indeed recording this on two ways. On video right there, good afternoon, and on audio right there behind you.
Okay.
And you are welcome to sit or stand, as
okay.
the case may be. I think we'll kick it off. Dennis is ready. Here we go. This is, thank you for coming out, first of all, this afternoon. This is a smaller, more intimate venue than it was on Tuesday, and we hope it will not affect the size of our group anymore. It looks like they're coming in. We begin with an opening statement for a couple of minutes, whatever you would like to say to us. And then we have 5 questions that we have prepared that we are asking all of the candidates. And then we take questions from the floor, which some have already been filled out. I will be the one asking questions.
Okay.
Our timekeeper today, I think I will be the timekeeper, I guess. Although I don't have any of Stephanie's signs. Usually she had a 1-minute sign that we hold up, so I don't know, what should I do? 1 minute, the finger, this one. 1 minute, and that is simply letting you know that we have to move on to the next question. And then there's time for a 3-minute closing statement.
Okay.
So now that, and that door will probably be opening and closing as people come and go. We hope you can stay for the entire time till 4:30 or 5 tonight. It is my pleasure to introduce to you not only a candidate for Area 2, is it?
Yes.
But also Area 4, sorry.
Yes.
But also a sitting member of our Cerritos College Board of Trustees. This afternoon, would you make her welcome? This is Miss Marisa Perez.
Thank you very much, Craig, for being here. Thank you very much for inviting me. I was actually pleasantly surprised to get the invitation from Dennis. So thank you very much, Dennis, for sending me the invitation. I'm pleased to be here today. Once again, my name is Marisa Perez. I represent Trustee Area 4, which includes the communities of Lakewood, Bellflower, Cerritos, Long Beach, and Hawaiian Gardens. I was elected in 2012, and so I'm asking for your support for my re-election here in 2016. Professionally, I have my undergraduate degree in biomedical engineering from Texas A&M University, and I have my master's degree in public policy from the University of Southern California. I spent my entire career working in the public sector. Currently, I work for the Air Quality Management District, and I advise a governing board member on air quality issues. She's also a member of the California Air Resources Board. Before that, I worked for Los Angeles Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa, and I also worked for the previous mayor, Mayor Richard Reardon. And I also served as a policy and budgetary advisor to President George W. Bush in the White House, where I was one of his domestic policy advisors. So that's a little bit about me. I'm very active in my community in addition to my responsibilities at work. And here on the board, I am Vice President of Parent Involvement from my local PTA at the school I go to, where my 3 kids go to. I'm on several boards within Lakewood, including Little League, which we were just talking about, the Friends of the Lakewood Libraries, and I am a team parent for every single sport you can imagine. Where I have 3 kids who do sports year-round. So that is a little bit about me.
Terrific. Thank you very much. I will begin then with question number 1. These
Sure.
are our 5 prepared questions. So number 1 question is, describe please your role as a trustee compared to that of the college superintendent president.
Okay. Thank you for that question. I think the main role of a governing board member is to provide policy and budgetary guidance and decisions. That is our number 1 responsibility. The CEO, President Superintendent of the college, he or she is the one who operates the college in conjunction with the management team, faculty, and staff. I do think the one area where we do kind of overlap somehow is representing our community. I think the one thing we both do is we're both as the members of the Board of Trustees as well as the CEO, very active, both within Cerritos College, as well as out into the communities that we serve. I think that is one of the key responsibilities that we share. And I know many of you who know me know that I take that responsibility very seriously. That is the main reason why I ran, is to serve my community. And every time I have the ability to promote Cerritos College, that's what I'm here to do.
Very good, thank you. Question number 2. Please describe your current relationship with the Cerritos College Faculty Federation.
Let's see, so I guess my current relationship, I guess I'll start with the beginning. When I decided to run for office, I was strongly encouraged by my local city council member. And the first people I met, the very first week I decided I was thinking about running, were George, Solomon, and Armando Soto. So the 3 of you were the first people who I met with at the Starbucks down the street. And I told you a little bit about me. I gave you my resume, and I said, you know, like, thinking about doing this. What do you guys think? We had a really good conversation, and I think from the moment we met to having your endorsement and support the first time was very critical in meeting a 21-year incumbent. Again, Dr. Ted Evanston had been on the board since 1991. That was the year I graduated from high school. And again, it was a very tough race, and I am still to this day, I will always say I am grateful to both the classified staff and to the Faculty Federation for supporting me and endorsing me, because I do think that gave my candidacy a great deal of credibility. In regards to the relationship, going back to further elaborate, I think I've always had a very open relationship. I've pretty much, I would say 80% of you, I've had coffee with you, I've had dinner with you. Dr. Nawala is welcome in my house. Anytime he has asked for a meeting, I am happy to meet with him. And anytime that I have asked for Dr. Nawala to meet, he's always been willing to get together and talk a little bit about some of the issues that he has faced as a faculty union president. I haven't heard from you in a while, but it's been summer. But I mean, again, I'm always open and welcome to have that open conversation with any member of the faculty union.
Thank you. And question number 3, under what circumstances do you believe it is important for you to consult with the Cerritos College Faculty Federation, CCFF, before making a decision as a trustee?
I think these first 4 years, I would say that it was very important to me, because again, I was a brand new trustee. I had worked at a community college before, but I did not know the level of detail about what it takes behind the scenes behind a college. So I do think that I consulted a lot with Dr. Nawala this year. I think if you asked him, and he would, sorry he's not here today, but I think he would probably agree that pretty much every conversation we had about issues that related to the union, I always asked him, hey, am I understanding this right? Can you explain things to me? I don't understand about department chairs. I don't understand how certain people get office hours, certain people don't. I don't understand how pro rata pay is. So I would definitely say having the advice and the guidance from the Faculty Federation has always been helpful, and it's always a piece of information that I use when I make decisions as a board member.
Thank you. Question 4, the relationship between CCFF and the district has been strained over this last year due to a protracted negotiation process. How would you work to improve this relationship in the future?
I think the first thing I'd probably reflect a little bit from the district perspective first, because negotiations take 2 teams. And I think one of the things I really am looking forward to, hopefully, once the faculty signs a tentative agreement, is really having a discussion within the district team. What are the lessons learned? What went well? What didn't go well? Who are our team members? I think who represents the district, I think they need to make sure they represent the board, because ultimately that's where the final decision making gets made. I think one of the things I have been disappointed in is that we kind of have swayed away from interest-based bargaining. During the first few meetings that I had back in 2012, there was a sense of excitement that we had this new VP of Human Resources, and that there was a move to interest-based negotiations. And somewhere along the line, I'm not saying how it happened because I don't know all the details either, we kind of moved away from that. So I think going back to having some training for both sides, I would suggest that, or at least for our team, what we can do to better address some of these issues. I think also I would probably suggest too is instead of pitting individual board members against each other as it relates to the union issues, I would prefer if we figure out how you as a union can educate the board as a whole about what the issues are that you're facing. You know, we tried to do that, and we kind of got dinged for it during the accreditation visit, but I would like to revisit that and figure out how that can be done, because I do think it's important for the information that is shared individually with individual board members to be shared with the board as a whole. Because ultimately, the final decisions are made by the board as a whole. There's not one member who has any more vote than the other 6 members. So again, I think that would be some suggestions. And I think again, we're reflecting back, and I hope as a union too that they'll spend some time reflecting. Because I know I will be encouraging the district team and the district administration to do that. So.
Thank you very much, and we're down to question number 5, the last of the prepared questions, and that's a short one. Why should the Cerritos College Faculty Federation endorse you?
I think the faculty should endorse me because I hope to continue to make progress on the issues that we have already started working on. I have long been a supporter of the 3-year contract. When I first got on the board, I suggested a 3-year contract, and everybody laughed at me, said, it doesn't happen in education. And again, I come from a public sector background where 3-year contracts are pretty common. And I said, you know what, you guys, again, this is the first few meetings that I had with George and Solomon and Armando when I talked about the lack of contract. And that's why I strongly feel that if now that hopefully we will have a 3-year contract, we can talk about all the other issues in the assignment article that still need to be resolved. So again, I can continue to push for that. I've been saying that since the very beginning, and I really would like to see that work completed as a member of the Board of Trustees. I think in regards to why you should endorse me and support me, I think we have gradually made changes that that would better compensate our faculty, both part-time and full-time. And steadily, there's been additional steps for the adjunct faculty. There's obviously going to be additional pay increases if the faculty approves the contract, and I think for full-time too, the additional changes, I would say changes to the step and column for the full-time, those are all things that were done under this current board, and that's why I do think it's one of the main reasons if you want to continue to see progress and see the changes that you've all been advocating for since you guys were started as a union. I think that's the reason why you should mainly endorse me and support me.
Okay. Thank you so much. This ends the prepared questions, and then we have some from the floor that I'm picking up on these index cards. If you have any more, are there any more floating around? I hope we have time to get to all of these. I'll do the same thing. I'll throw them out one at a time, and then
Sure.
And then 3 minutes, for each.
Okay.
Here's the first one. If you can somehow get them to me over here through Ted, maybe. Do you think it is appropriate to serve on the selection committees beyond your purview, which is currently being done by the president of this college?
I'm sorry, I don't understand that question. So, I don't understand the question. So, who's serving on the committee?
Do you think it's appropriate to serve on the selection committees beyond your only purview? And like the president of the college is apparently doing, I'm not aware of this, but you as a trustee, or a trustee,
Okay.
I guess that's the question. Should you be serving on selection committees
No.
before it gets to you?
No, I think it's clearly outlined in our board policies as well as our admin procedures that we only have one hire, and that's the president and CEO of the college.
Okay. Next question. Do you support a 28th amendment, the Constitution, to keep money out of politics?
100%. 100%, yes. I would say yes, definitely.
Okay, and the answer is, or the, yes, yeah. And now the question for Ray Karnak here. Why do you oppose sabbaticals?
Well, I know that question was going to be coming from, and I knew that. So I will go ahead and repeat my record, which has all been submitted to Dr. Namala. We had 3 votes on sabbaticals since I've been on this board. The first one, I voted no. I voted no along with Trustee Sandra Salazar, which you guys either have endorsed or not endorsed already, depending who you talk to. The other 2 votes have been in support of sabbaticals. There are at least 2 people I see right here who are on sabbaticals, who finished sabbaticals, and they would not have completed that if I had not voted in support of them. So.
Okay. This question has a title. Authority of Negotiation Team. In the question, how much authority do you give the district's negotiation team?
I think it depends, and I think it's changed since I've been on this board. I think again, since we were all new to the board, I think it was still a learning process for at least 4 of us who had never served, well actually 3 of us who had never served on a community college board and didn't understand the complexities of labor negotiations. So I think at first it definitely was more reserved, like, okay, we can check in with this more often. But I think that has been addressed as, again, we've had more experience and more understanding of what the issues are. I mean, it took me a while. I mean, I honestly, it's unfortunate to say this, it took me until really last year to understand the assignment article. And that wasn't until Dr. Namala went through every single item for me and explained it to me from a faculty's perspective, what's in the assignment article. So again, there's a lot of delegation to the district team, and you know, this is how the structure is right now.
Okay. There are 2 questions on this card, and you may have already addressed one of them, but in fairness to the person who wrote it, I'll ask you both, and I'll let you handle them however you like. Number 1, what is your philosophy related to sabbatical leaves? And number 2, what is your greatest success and your greatest disappointment as a trustee?
Well, I think the sabbaticals already answered. I think in regards to my greatest success as a trustee, I would put 2 of them. And 2 of them is number 1, getting the college reaccredited through 2021. Because if the college was not reaccredited, there would be no school to have students, no place to teach, no place to improve our community. When we had the draft report came out, there were several examples that were in reference to the new board members. And instead of running away from that, I took up a challenge and served on the board subcommittee along with Dr. Frank Mixon and Dr. Joanna Schilling and 2 other of my colleagues. And we actually went through it, every single recommendation where the team had a recommendation and what we could do. Those were very painful and long meetings. But again, it was a good exercise for me to understand what it takes to get accredited as a college. So I put that as my number 1 achievement. And it's really not my achievement, I think it's the college's achievement. And I think the other thing that I'm most proud of is hiring Dr. Fierro. Because again, Dr. Lacey was a very well-respected leader. She had been in education for 38 years. She laid a very strong foundation for many of the successful programs that we have now. And I think being able to keep up that momentum, I think is something that I'm very proud of. I know many of you were on the screening committee and understood that we had some very good candidates. And to this day, for me, that is my biggest achievement, and that is my main priority, is doing whatever I can do to support him and all of us here to make sure that our students are successful. So that's what I try to stay focused on throughout my daily interactions and the work I do here at the college as a board member.
Okay, they just keep coming. Do you think that the board has a difficult time forming a majority, and if so, why?
I think board, no. I think now, I think the board actually is functioning pretty well right now. I think it was a challenge to be there, get there, I'll say that, with my colleague Bob Arthur here. He's here, and I think he can attest to some of the challenges that we face as a board. I think now, again, for me, I felt the turning point was hiring Dr. Fierro. I think we all, all felt he was the top candidate, and his goals were where we wanted to see the college go to. So I think since then, it's been very positive, very, very positive. I think we will continue to have differing opinions, and that's okay. Took me a long time to understand that, but that's actually what diversity means. Diversity is just not limited to ethnicity or gender, socioeconomic status. Diversity is about having different ideas and it being okay, and respecting you because you have a different opinion, and you respecting me because my opinion's different too. Took me a while to get there, but I think honestly, that's what I want to see more of, is understanding that we may all have different perspectives, but we can be respectful and honor each other and respect each other, because one of the things that's clearly in our board policy is that we are supposed to have mutual trust and respect for each other. So.
And again, you may have addressed this already, but
Sure.
in fairness to the person, I'll ask it. You have a high disapproval rating from our faculty on the last CCFF survey, 80 to 90%. Why do you think that is, and how will you address that? How could you address that?
I think it's because there's certain board members who have it out for me. I mean, that's to be very, very honest. There's certain board members who have it out for me, and they have relationships with faculty members who probably were open ear to that. So I think that's the main reason. I think, again, if you look at my voting record, which again, I think that's really the outcomes is what we're all focused on, you'll see that everything has been very supportive of the faculty. Again, I could list everything out. Dr. Namala has a list. You guys have the endorsement where I wrote everything out that has that's been positive towards the faculty. And I think that's the main reason, is that certain faculty members are very close to the board member who doesn't like me. He doesn't like me, doesn't respect me, wants to do whatever they can to tarnish my reputation, and that's all I can do is just focus on, keep on doing the good work. So.
Thank you. This appears to be the last one before the closing statement. Adjunct faculty teach the majority of classes on this campus. What is your understanding of the role of full-time and part-time faculty on campus as they serve students?
Well, it is, I understand the role of a part-time very well, actually, because my good friend Tom Taylor is sitting up here as a part-time employee and as a member of my community. And by my community, I will say my family and my church and everything about. So you have a wonderful advocate and Tom, and every time I see him during a pickup or exchange, he'll tell me a little bit about what his plight is, teaching here at Cerritos College and teaching over at Cal State Dominguez Hill, and what he has to do and how he's only offered benefits at Dominguez Hill to support his family, and how we don't offer them here. Yes, and I know, and I hear it loud. I've also heard Lindsay's story too. Lindsay also too, I mean, you have a very good advocates in a lot of your part-time. Lindsay's been trying to get a full-time position here for how many years now, Lindsay?
How long have I been here?
I don't know, for a long time, right? It's been a while, and I think it is, it's unfortunate that a lot of good part-time faculty member can't get hired on for full-time. And I'm hoping now with the seniority issue, again, I don't know the details. I hope to learn more about the details in the agreement. I just saw yesterday when you guys sent the email, that's the first time I saw it. But I'm hoping that some of the things that we did will better help and serve our part-time faculty or adjunct faculty. And again, I would like to see, and I don't know if it's training, I've talked about it with Dr. Fierro, about how we can get our part-time faculty members better prepared, higher ranked, whatever you want to say that when it comes to the selection process for full-time members. Because again, a lot of the part-timers, they've been here a long time, and many of them would be very blessed to have a tenured faculty position here. So whatever we can do to continue making the movements, I think again, the step-in columns that were added, and I think the pay increases, I think they're going to help at least slightly address that problem. And there's more to come long-term. I don't see that as the end. I know that you'll continue to come and ask. I mean, that's your role. I mean, that's your role as a union, is to advocate for the economic and social parity of your members. I looked at your website, so.
Well, your timing is perfect.
Good.
We
Good.
have 3 minutes left before our next candidate for a closing statement, which can be anything that you would like to tell.
Okay, well, thank you. I think, again, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be here. It's been nice to see many familiar faces, and I'm fortunate to hear your stories and to hear about your students. I always, again, take great pleasure. We didn't talk a lot about student issues during this forum, but again, that is really the reason why I chose to run, is to serve my community and to make sure that our students are prepared for whatever future that they may have, whether it's transferring or retraining or upgrading their skills or getting their certificate, or again, everybody has different goals here. And you know, I'm happy to continue to make progress in regards to raising the amount of degrees and certificates that we accomplish here at Cerritos College and getting more people prepared before they enter here too. Those are all things that I actually am very excited about. So if I'm reelected, those are the areas I will continue to focus on for at least another 4 years. And again, I just want to thank you for being here and for giving me this opportunity to tell a little bit about the work that I've done as a trustee, and again, to represent everybody here on the